The kitchen really is the heart of the home, but it's also the easiest place for clutter to pile up and for things to get pretty unorganized. Hi, I'm Megan, and welcome to Organizing What Matters. Welcome back! I'm super excited. This is my first week of actually working on my project of organizing and decluttering my house from top to bottom. This week we started in the heart of the home, the kitchen. This is where we spend the most time and where we get the most traffic. And so naturally it gets the most cluttered and the most disorganized. I feel like the kitchen is one of those spaces that can kind of make or break the feeling of the home. When the kitchen is messy and cluttered, I feel more scattered. But when it's clean and organized, everything feels a little bit easier. And I don't stress very much when people show up at my door unannounced. In today's episode, I'm tackling all of the cupboards and drawers in the kitchen, from utensils and plates to the spice rack and even the medicine cabinet. My goal was to clear out everything that we don't need and give every drawer and shelf a wipe down. This does not happen nearly enough, and it needed to happen. I wanted to simplify what we use every day and make sure that everything had a place. I'm going to share my work this week through time-lapse videos with a voiceover explaining what I was doing each day. So let's jump right in and get those cupboards and drawers refreshed.
Before I got started, I made sure that all of the dishes were done and the counters were cleared off. I swear, whenever I turn my back, those dishes multiply in the sink. Day one, I worked on the top cabinets. I started by taking everything out. I sprayed and wiped down each shelf. This is something that doesn't get done nearly enough. Then I put back only the things we use and the things I love. This first cupboard is cups, bowls, plates, and some serving bowls. I have these glass bottles and goblets on the top shelf that don't really ever get used, so I kept those out and I'm going to decide what to do with those. This corner cabinet has lots of grilling and smoking supplies on one shelf and baking ingredients like baking powder, baking soda, vanilla, all that stuff on the other. Again, took everything out, wiped off the shelf, and got rid of anything that was empty or expired. Then I put it all back in. Feels so good putting everything back so nice and neat. This next shelf has all sorts of sweets. The mugs and hot chocolate, treats and candy, bigger baking ingredients like powdered sugar, marshmallows, and chocolate chips. And then the very top shelf has cookie cutters, cake decorating supplies, candles, sprinkles, baking stuff, and birthday stuff that doesn't get used as often. Again, took it out, cleared it off, cleaned the shelves, and put it all back in. After this cupboard was done, I moved on to the small cupboard above the stove and microwave, where I keep all the oils, vinegars, cooking sprays, and there's also a small shelf where I keep my recipes and cookbooks. I took this opportunity to get rid of all the cookbooks I never use. Maybe some of my adult children will be interested in taking them with them to their apartment, but I don't know, maybe not. Probably I'll just get rid of them. It's funny how many things I hold onto just in case. Like I think that I might use them someday, and then time just goes by and by and by, and they never get used. Speaking of hanging on to things just in case and then never using them, the next shelf was my spice rack. I pulled everything out, combined spices where I had multiple bottles, put them into one bottle, got rid of everything that was almost empty or expired, cleaned it all out, put it all back, and that felt so good. The final cupboard over my oven is where I keep my baking sheets. There wasn't much to do there. I just checked to make sure that everything was in place. And that's where I ended day one. Day two. Of course, I need to start again by cleaning off the counters and doing the dishes. We didn't do a good job cleaning up after dinner last night, so there are a lot of dishes in the sink and pans left on the stove. My daughter and granddaughter came over this morning, so that made work in the kitchen much more fun. I had someone to chat with and the cutest little girl giving me cuddle breaks. Because I didn't clean up last night, I had to soak some of the pans, so I did that and started the dishwasher. I came back later to put away those dry dishes and to empty the dishwasher. My visitors were gone, so this part of the job wasn't as fun. There were lots of dishes to put away, so here I am putting away the dishes, putting away more dishes, and putting away more dishes. It really is amazing how many dishes I put away each day. There were two cupboards that I didn't get to on day one, so that's where I'm focusing today. First is the cupboard right above the fridge. Up here I have some serving platters, some pie pans, things like that. And then the second shelf I focused on was this one right next to the sink, which is our medicine cabinet, and that definitely needed to be cleaned out. There were like 10 bottles of bug spray up there, and we definitely don't need that much bug spray. Day 2 done, and the top cabinets are cleaned out. Day 3, again, needed to start the day by cleaning up the kitchen. This is what it looked like after the kids got ready for school in the morning and had breakfast. I need to take out the garbage, do the dishes, do just a quick clean of the kitchen before I get started on my project. I'm focusing on the lower cupboards and drawers today. I started with under the sink. Got trash bags, cleaning supplies, dish soap, sponges, and a lot of grocery bags. Oh, there's my husband. So just cleaning everything out, getting rid of a lot of those extra garbage bags. Like, I don't know why I have all those extra grocery bags. I never use all of them. These little drawers next to the sink tend to accumulate little odds and ends. So I just pulled it all out and took out most of it. I kept matches, lighters, little kind of kitchen trinkets, specialty trinkets. The next drawer was serving bowls, mixing bowls, all that kind of stuff. And then this bottom drawer is water bottles, and we had so many water bottles. I got rid of all of the lids and straws that don't have matches. The next drawer is measuring cups, measuring spoons, baking utensils. I got rid of things that were broken or didn't fit into sets. Next two drawers are spatulas, serving utensils, wooden spoons, that type of thing. This little cupboard down here is our crock pot, not much to do. This bottom drawer is all of our Tupperware, so that's always a fun project, matching everything. There's also a drawer with all of our pots and pans. Here's a drawer with our hot pads. This cupboard down here has our baking dishes. Just did a quick organize, and then this drawer under the oven has our bread pans, cake pans, muffin tins, roasting pan, that type of thing. So that's what I did for day 3, all organized. Day 4, no surprise, I start with a kitchen cleanup. I had some items on the counter left over from the day before that I need to put in a donate pile, so I went ahead and did that. Then I unloaded the dishwasher. Making these videos, it's much more clear to me why it's easy to get sidetracked after just a couple days, because the daily tasks just keep coming back. So it's easy to feel like I'm not making any progress. Today I moved onto the island. There's drawers and cupboards there. By now you know the drill. I take everything out, get rid of the things I don't need or the extras, and then put it all back. I know this angle isn't ideal, but this is really the only place I could put the camera where you could see the drawers and cupboards that I'm working in today. These two little drawers over here are where we have all of our utensils and then some of our smaller serving utensils. And when I was doing that, I realized that I needed some new command strips. So I headed to the store. And of course, while I was there, I had to do a bunch of grocery shopping. So I had to take a break from my organizing and put all the groceries away. Again, you can see how easily I can get distracted from a really big project that I'm working on by just the daily tasks that need to be done. And I ended up not getting back to this project again today. So because I got distracted and didn't finish day 4, I ended up having a day 5. So here I am back at it, finishing up the last drawers and shelves from the island. This is our utensils, our kids' dishes and cups, and then in this last cupboard is all of our paper goods. So that took some time to clean out, clean through, get rid of all of the extra stuff or stuff that's kind of dingy from being pulled out and put back in time after time without being used. So I just kind of consolidated everything and got rid of anything that looked like nobody would want to use. And that was it. All the cupboards and drawers cleaned out, decluttered, and wiped down. So I ended the day with a final clean. I did the dishes, I cleaned all the counters, cleaned out the sink, washed the kitchen window. It feels so good to complete a project. Even if it took me 5 days, I paced myself well and was able to get everything done without burnout, and I was able to finish with a happy dance.
And that's it in the kitchen this week for organizing what matters. Every cupboard and drawer feels so much lighter, so much cleaner, and I can already notice the difference when I'm cooking or doing anything in the kitchen. And my kids even noticed. Here are a few things that I learned this week as I worked on this project. Number 1, pace yourself. There's no need to put your entire life on hold in order to finish a project in one day, especially a project this big. It's just unrealistic to put everything on hold. And when I do that, that's usually when I end up not finishing a project because everything else gets so chaotic when I'm focusing all my attention and time on that project and not on anything else or any of the daily tasks that need to happen. So pacing yourself is super important. I just planned like 2-ish tasks a day and called it good. And some days I even took a break between every cupboard that I did. So pace yourself throughout the week, but also pace yourself throughout the day. It's the best way to avoid burnout. Number 2, don't get discouraged if you get interrupted. Interruption is the story of every mom's life. Just pick up where you left off next time you get a chance. Number 3, There really are only a few things in the kitchen that I really need multiples of. The obvious ones are plates, cups, bowls, utensils, things that multiple people use multiple times a day and often at the same time. Obviously, we need multiples of all of those things. But I don't really need 5 spatulas. 1 to 2 are plenty. I don't need 2 can openers. And even though I like to have extra potato peelers during the holidays, I don't need to keep them out in my drawers all the time. I can store them until Thanksgiving, and then they're not in the way. And number 4, I am an adult, and this is my house, and I get to choose what stays and what goes. The kitchen is such a big project, so I decided to break it up into 2 weeks. So next week, I'll be diving into the pantry and the appliances. Trust me, there is plenty to do in that pantry. If you're following along, or if you're joining me on this Organizing What Matters journey, I'd love to hear in the comments. What's one spot in your kitchen that accumulates the most clutter? Maybe it's the junk drawer or the spice rack. I mean, be honest, how many times have you bought poultry seasoning or pumpkin pie spice? Or maybe you're like me and you have 10 bottles of bug spray in the medicine cabinet. Why in the world do I have 10 bottles of bug spray? Thanks for joining me for this first episode of Organizing What Matters. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss next week's video. I'll see you then.
Thanks for watching and making time with me to capture the moments that matter. If you liked this video, think about subscribing and joining me next time.